On this day in 1967, a last-minute Billy McNeill goal took Celtic into the European Cup semi-finals. Celtic's route to Lisbon looked as though it had hit a dead end at Celtic Park on the 8th of March 1967 as the final whistle approached, with the tie against Vojvodina Novi Sad locked at 1-1 and a play-off in Rotterdam beckoned. It took the intervention of an old double act in the final seconds to provide one of the most dramatic finishes to a game ever seen at the old ground. The Yugoslavian champions proved a tough nut to crack for Celtic and inflicted the only defeat on their way to the final in the first leg on the 1st of March. Vojvodina were a big, strong and technically excellent side, but Celtic had defended brilliantly in Yugoslavia until Tommy Gemmell mishit a pass to John Clark, allowing Vojvodina's number 11 Stanic to intercept and shoot past Simpson from close range. Ger Henderson wrote in the Evening Times of the 2nd of March 1967, "Celtic played well here last night. They will do all the attacking in Glasgow next week, and unless manager Boskov has the most watertight defensive plan yet known to football, I think Celtic will wear the Yugoslavs down and score enough goals to take them into the semi-final of the European Cup." Willie Wallace had not been signed in time to be eligible for the quarter-finals, and Joe McBride was still not fit, so it was with some trepidation that Celtic approached the second leg, with Steve Chalmers having missed the 5-1 win over St Mirren on the Saturday with a shoulder injury picked up in the first leg. He was past fit to play only on the day of the game, Jock Stein telling the Evening Times of the 8th of March, "You can take it from me that the bruised shoulder has healed completely. If there had been the slightest possibility of his not being able to jump and move freely for the full 90 minutes, he would not have been considered for a game that is unquestionably one of the most important in Celtic's history." Stein sprang a surprise in his team selection, with Charlie Gallagher picked ahead of Bertie Auld, and they lined up in front of 75,000 fans. Simpson, Craig, Gemmell, Murdoch, McNeill, Clark, Johnston, Lennox, Chalmers, Gallagher, Hughes. The match almost got off to a nightmare start for Celtic when left winger Pusebric astonishingly missed the target from 6 yards with only Ronnie Simpson to beat. Despite the let-off, the first half didn't get any better for Celtic as they struggled to find the goal they needed to level the tie, with Vojvodina a well-drilled unit who were determined to stop them by fair means or foul. Ger Henderson reported in the Evening Times of the 9th of March, "The machine that has moved so smoothly all season looked badly out of gear. John Hughes was plodding on the left wing and causing pain on the terracings. Bobby Lennox, the Quicksilver man, could not break into the game at all, and many doubted the Jock Stein wisdom of bringing in Charlie Gallagher for Bertie Auld. Steve Chalmers was trying as hard as he knows, but he was being battered about by the brawn of centre-half Brzic, and only Jimmy Johnston raised any real hopes." With the huge crowd becoming restless, the breakthrough finally came on 58 minutes. Glyn Edwards wrote in the Glasgow Herald of the 9th of March, "Clark sent Gemmell away down the left with a splendid pass inside Alexic, and when Pantelic failed to cut out the fullback's cross, Chalmers had merely to tap the ball into the unguarded net." The goal unleashed a huge wave of relief on the terracing, and suddenly Celtic went up a gear, bombarding the Yugoslav defence, but Vojvodina didn't crumble. Ger Henderson wrote, "Transformation now. Celtic shook off the nerves that had been giving them the jitters. Every man roared into attack. Hughes was as dangerous as he had been docile, and Pantelic performed one deed of goalkeeping heroism after the other as shots came at him from all angles on the field." With the clock ticking down and thoughts beginning to turn to a play-off in Rotterdam 7 days later, Celtic redoubled their efforts and Jimmy Johnston won a corner kick in the dying seconds. The noise from the crowd was deafening as Charlie Gallagher made his way to the corner flag. In a well-rehearsed move, Celtic's forwards moved out of the 6-yard box to make room for Billy McNeill, who timed his run into the area perfectly. As a clutch of Yugoslav defenders went for the ball, McNeill rose above them all to loop the ball over the despairing leap of Pantelic. The roof almost lifted off the jungle as McNeill was swamped by ecstatic teammates and Ronnie Simpson swung from his crossbar in delight. Vojvodina players crowded the referee, complaining about an infringement of some kind, but he wasn't listening. John Clark urged his teammates to keep their heads as Vojvodina restarted, but even as he shouted, the final whistle blew and the Vojvodina players went for the referee again, although their captain quickly pushed them away. Celtic had overcome their hardest opponents yet, and dreams of European Cup glory were suddenly looking a lot closer to reality.